Um, my mother wrote me a note, which the police must have now, describing her walking across Whitehall Road, I mean, not Whitehall, Wolf Road, and she fell down on her face. And she had, when I saw her a week or so later, yellow and green, black and blue marks from this. And she wrote that down, and that was a situation that became a problem, because when elderly start to fall down, the time comes that they start to, beginning of the end. And my father also had cataract surgery, and he lost his vision to double vision, so he couldn't be he couldn't drive. So they were losing their independence and so forth. And my mother had a brother who had Alzheimer's, and my father had a sister who had Alzheimer's. They were both in nursing homes. My mother had a second sister who also had Alzheimer's. And they put you in a bed, they put catheters into you, they rip your teeth out to try to keep you, the whole 9 yards. So this is in the back of my mind.
Did you?
And I'll mention, the police know about my sister, and having to see my sister die from cancer I was 16, she was 14, go through 9 months or so of, the agony of cancer patients. I know. I'll leave that for the statement that I put on your website.
The statement doesn't mention that.
I know.
Does not mention that.
Right.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What did you do to your parents?
I buried them in their property. Right. I need to see a calendar to sometime August 2017. Right. I'll have to leave it for that statement. Right. I will. My goal is for the American people to recognize that there's 40 million boomers. They're all going to go through the same kind of problems. It affects all of us, and we need to widen up the law so that people can deal with these kind of problems in a humane way, in a whatever way that people can deal with. And I did my duty to my parents. I won't admit
You're saying that without actually saying that word. I want to hear you say that word. You've ended their lives.
I have to
give them mercy, you're saying.
I have to plead my Fifth Amendment rights until I can disclose it with my statement there. I would never have done such a thing if I ever did it knowing it's wrong. If I did it, absolutely like that. There's a statement there that we'll deal with more later, if you want to know more.
Lorenz, I appreciate that, and we'll talk about your statement, but
yes, there's a time for that. My concern for their misery was paramount. And it was a huge burden to have to face this coming up. This is a horrible situation. You're a good questioner. I have to protect my Fifth Amendment rights on this until the right time. Yes, but I mean, whatever I say here is going to be held against me elsewhere, right? all of that, all that kind of stuff I would answer later with that deal with the American people. But I'm not gonna speak about such things like that. I want their feedback on my statement. Then I can believe that I can tell the truth uninhibited. I put things in the right order that have to be in the right order. But it's very important that insofar as exculpatory material, the police have that statement from my mother regarding what happened to her crossing the street at Wolf Road, falling down, you know.
Right.
And she also had a problem with, she mentioned she was getting lines in her eyes for some reason. And there was no, I don't know what that would be. That was the, yes, but also the letter from her to me said, do something, or this you need to know this, in a way that I think they want me to take responsibility for things. Implicitly, but not explicitly. My mother, after my sister died, my mother would give me these do not resuscitate things every few months, and she wanted to die given her grief for my sister, her daughter. You know, there's something special about our family that we can somehow read each other's minds, and so being things explicit isn't necessarily, you know, I could complete my grandmother's sentences for her, and she would say, "Wow," you know. So I mean, the context of all this became to bear on me. They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill. Oh yeah. Well, yes, no one else is.
Right. So they.
Yes. Yes. And it was so quick.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved?
No.
Was there a suffocation? You suffocated them? You suffocated your parents?
Yeah. Basically. My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
Did you?
No. I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking what to do. It took me several days to realize I can't do this, I can't do that. Just bury them on the property, and it was wide open, sunlight. I remember my sister, she received either a gift of a lamb or a lamb was given to her upon her funeral, but that lamb showed up, and I put it on my mother's grave, and the police must have that now too. Well, I buried them, and I put a thing around my mother's grave, and and I planted a peach tree next to her, and I put that there. Not thoughts, action. Make sure it's done, and not fool around, not make a mistake. But, you know, I'm sure the police are going to say what an incompetent idiot I am on that. But, you know. I would say the last minute, no. But they're, you know, I think my father died very quickly, surprisingly quickly. That shocked me. And then, you know, the part with my mother, that went quickly too.
And
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We have to squeeze the law to fit the humans, not us, the humans to fit the law. And we have 40 million boomers. They're all going to suffer a horrible death, typically. My mother always if somebody died in their home, she would say, great, the person died with their boots on, instead of going to a hospital and going through a meat processing factory kind of thing. So they were both children of World War II. My mother was born in 42. She was a toddler. She told me she would follow funerals behind the horse and wagon. This is the kind of world she grew up in. My father was at age 12 in a communist concentration camp for 3 years. So they had very serious lives, given, you know, the globe, the genocidal British geopolitics, as I call it. So they were not fooling around on things. They were serious people. You know, once that happens, then what do you do? I mean, the government is pissed because I took the Social Security money and gave it to people who are starving in the Philippines. Okay, then, be angry about that. But anything, the police know all the money that I have went to people to help them, thousands of dollars. I gave almost, not all of it away because there was still a lot left. But I gave away, I didn't play with the money, you know, I gave it away. I didn't enrich myself. No, but this is not a kill for money case, is important to say. It's, I was helping people before that just fine, so it didn't, the issue of taking my parents' money for other purposes related to that doesn't fit. That's why the police, they had a theory going which we talked about on Tuesday, and they wanted to try to say that this was taking their money to give away to other people, but it was that the other part is the primary situation. Right, and I was giving it away.
But it's still blood money.
Well, if you kill to take somebody's money away, that's blood money. But if you know, what was I supposed to do with this money? Again, I couldn't tell anyone. The government needs to have an office where you can say, this is something that happened, and here's how it happens, and this is, they need to deal with these kind of problems in an open way. Everything in this country is hidden away, and this is a societal crisis. Again, 40 million people are going to deal with this, and maybe, you know, a multiple of that given their friends and family. So I mean, it's a reality of human experience. And I just wanted to say, in 2020 there was this YouTube channel called Tribe of the Fox, and they did a video called The Mannerbunde. And they explain how in the ancient times they had men who would do this for the elderly, so they wouldn't have to suffer. And of course, the ancient Greeks always believed in dying on the battlefield rather than dying in a bag of bones, like a bag of bones. So, I mean, culturally, America is totally. No, but you could put it that way. Well, right, it's not, I mean, the preference of people, of the ancient Greeks, was to die on the battlefield rather than die so infirm that you have nothing.
Was it a pillow that you used?
No, no, no.
What did you use to suffocate them?
For my father, my hand, and for my mother, a rope.
So you strangled her?
Yeah, that would seem better.
It was strangulation, not suffocation?
Well, it's the same, no, denial of oxygen,
Okay.
but also blood circulation. Yeah.
Okay.
I did the right thing for them based on the situation. I did my duty to them as a son, and everything fell into place. I don't know how it happened that it all fell into place, but it did. And so no, I don't have. It's a horrible situation to be in. One does one's duty, and one is done. The issue of regrets, I can't say this. It's a regrettable experience, a regrettable situation, and of course, life is horrible. It has horrible moments in life, but that's that. Right.
You choked her with
No, just a rope. Right.
Okay. Today?
No. Well, no.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Is your mind clear and
I'm just a little sleepy, but I'm trying to keep my eyes open, but that's okay.
here today?
Correct.
Of
Yeah.
mind, as
Yeah.
you say all this?
Yeah. I would appreciate. I hope that you could put this on YouTube, the whole thing.
I'm sure we'll put this on.
Right.
And are you ready to face the consequences now with the police and the authorities?
Yes, but I would like the American people to also read my statement so that everybody can have something to appeal to on this. I know my statement is I'm not really concerned about the police or the courts or anything. There's something much bigger in life, and we have to deal with the big things in life.
Okay.
Correct?
And then moments later, or a short time later, you took your mother's life on that same day.
Right. No, well, see, that's the thing. It was late at night, and it was like late evening on one day into early morning next. I'm trying to remember, because there was, yeah, I don't remember.
Did you sit with your mother? Were the three of you together in one
Well,
room?
before they died, my father was here, my mother was here, and I told them what happened to me and my sister after she died. And my sister died in the house too, because when she died from the cancer. But she died in May of 1988, and then in that fall I was doing my 11th grade now then, and there was I had to do a paper in a big test, so I did an overnighter to do that test, and then tried to do a second overnighter to finish that paper or something, and I crawled into bed at like 2:45 in the morning, and sometime then after I popped out of my body, and I started floating up to the ceiling. I saw the nooks and crannies, and I acknowledged that the nooks and crannies of the ceiling, and then the whole world disappeared, and I was in this big black void, and it was rushing by, and then I saw my sister in in a doorway, in profile. Anyhow, after that, so it was like a near-death experience kind of thing. And so I told my parents about that experience. And I told them, it's time, go find Rosa. My sister's name was Rosa. And so my father just died quickly, so quickly. And I told him, find Rosa. And, that's that.
And then again, just take me through, after your mother died, how long was it before you buried them? Approximately.
Like 2 or 3 days, actually. Right. Right, I mean, I needed to, yeah, I mean, basically, I had to bury them. Right, of course, I mean, what to do? So again, the thing to do just occurred to me. Oh, she can fit here and he can fit there, and then just do it, and it was done. And that's that. I struggle to do other things with my life to try to make something great out of it, because if that's what I know, that they would not want me to rot away to death in prison over this. And I have a duty to everyone to make the best out of my life, and in the end, do what's best for the people of Germany, really. I call it being a Volkssaver. It took me years to understand all this, but I learned a lot in the last eight years that I never knew before, and I learned, self-educated in so many ways. So I did not. The issue of being caught is, I was able to buy time to solve huge problems, and that's worth it in many ways. To the American people, to me, and to them, to their legacy, to their, they probably won't.
And feel for you?
What they need to feel is for their own parents. They're going to face the same problems, and they're going to have to find solutions ahead of time, or else they're going to end up like me. That's the reality. They have a duty to their parents to bring them comfort at the end of life when they believe they need to. Yes. Oh, of course.
I mean, you're probably going to be arrested and
Well,
charged. And
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're going to, it's a process. You have to go through the process. How it will come out at the end, I don't know. But to influence that process, I would beg the American people to read that statement.
all right. Lorenz, thank you for being with us.
Oh, I appreciate it very
Okay.
much. Thank you.